Adult friendships.
Your friend with the loser boyfriend is going to drive you insane. You have to get rid of her.
Don't be switching up once you have that nigga, okay? If you ain't married, you don't put no nigga before your best friends, and that's law.
Why is it so hard as an adult to make friends? Like, I feel like the art of making friends in real life is lost.
Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. You can support uncensored conversations via Cash App or buying your girl a coffee. In this day and age, creating and maintaining adult friendships is so freaking hard. And there's just so many different factors that play into why adult friendships are just so trash these days. Making friends with an adult is so awkward. It's not like how it was when we were kids in school, because school forces proximity. You're in a room with these other kids for like 8 hours. Of course, you're going to find friendship in those classrooms. You're in a shared environment, going through shared experiences. That repetition is going to build that familiarity. Creating friends in school, much easier. Hell, even when you get into college, and I guess technically they're adults too, but I'm talking about after you leave school settings, that's when adult friendships become so difficult to maintain and also create. Because as an adult, you don't have a built-in community outside of work. And do you really want to be friends with the people at work? Do you want the person that could go snitch to your boss if you guys have a falling out and run to HR to tell all the tea? Like, no, not everybody wants to have friends at their job. For adults, we don't really have a built-in community. You have to seek it yourself. If you want to find a community, you have to not only find it, you have to make time for it. You have to make time for different hobby groups, different social meetings or social gatherings. And it's difficult because everyone has schedules.
Adult friendships are pretty much like, girl, I miss you. Let's hang out in May. For real. No, for real. I'm putting you on the books right now. No. Ah, fuck, your child graduates. She graduates. Okay, we gonna push back to June. No, June, you're mine. No, for real.
With the hustle culture that we have now, where you have 2 jobs and a side hustle, and on top of that, if you have kids, it's just where exactly are you going to find the time for extracurricular relationships like friendships? And not only that, everyone has their guard up, and for good reasons. As an adult, you've probably been through so many different situations with so-called friends, and they've burned you in this way, that way, other ways you didn't even know were possible. And so we're a little bit jaded. You just go through so much with different people stabbing you in the back, hating on you behind your back, trying to steal from you, using you. It's no wonder that everyone has their guard up, especially since you have social media and you get to see even more of these so-called friends and see how much of a backstabber they are. Or even this, you hear other stories about other people being jaded, other people being backstabbed, and a lot of people take those on as their own experiences, and they use that to guide them through creating and maintaining friendships of their own. I'm gonna learn through your mistakes, but then it kind of goes into this toxic area where you start becoming bitter over things that's never even happened to you.
Adult friendships is weird because you never really know who out to get you. You know what I mean? You never really know who out for the money only, just trying to make sure they secure the bag around you because they know you're successful. You know, I don't know if that's just me, but I feel like childhood friendships, the ones I still got, I'm like, yeah, you see me at the bottom, so you get it, you know. But adulthood, everybody out for themselves. It's one for all for one, and I'm not for it. I be having to vet people out. I am very much Jackie into the bullshit. I don't consider nobody no close friend until like 3, 4, 5 years down the line. Hell, 6, 7 if we fuck around with me, because I'm just not very like open and trusting and all that up front off the rip. It's stuff that, you know, it's levels to this. You gotta surpass certain levels.
The friend groups that are already established, like they're already established. They are not taking any new applications for friends. I swear, sometimes I'll go on my old Facebook and the friend groups that were like popping when I was in high school, they're still very much so clicked up. They're still going out. They're still posting pictures together. And I'm just like, wow, must be nice. Must be nice. That's no shade, no tea. I love that for them. It's going to be so hard to create that type of friendship as an adult, because if you're going through your formative years with these people, they know you on a level better than anybody else. And if your friendship was able to last through the ups and downs of puberty, the ups and downs of people going away to college and then possibly coming back and moving and relationships, having kids, then that friendship is forward tough. Well, forward isn't really that tough, but that's the saying. It's forward tough. Trying to create that type of friendship as an adult, you're going to be hard pressed to do it. And honestly, being vulnerable with other adults, it just becomes riskier the older you get because you have more to lose. People have their own trauma that they'll bring into the friendship, and people will have their own boundaries and you'll have your boundaries. And sometimes those boundaries do not allow for a genuine connection to form. A lot of adult friendships, they end up being very surface level. Like, hey, let's go out for drinks every 5 months. What are you up to? A text you get every 10 months. Those friendships, I mean, can we really call them friendships? I do want to take a step back and examine what friendship is, because I think a lot of people don't realize that there are different types of friendships. Even though we see it play out on social media literally all the time. There are 3 different types of friendships according to Aristotle. The first friendship would be friendship of utility. And you see this a lot. People who are friends because of mutual benefit or usefulness. I'm friends with you because we can help each other grow in this aspect. I'm friends with you because it gives us business advantages. Or I'm friends with you because your husband and my husband work together. Us being friends, we can kind of coordinate different events together. It's a friendship based on temporary needs. They dissolve very rapidly once that utility ends because it's not really grounded in anything real. It's not grounded in your character. It's not grounded in any genuine affection. It's just grounded in, you got what I need. Okay, now you don't have what I need. Deuces. Those type of friendships, they're very surface level and you see them all the time on TikTok. You have these influencer friends. They get together just to post content, and outside of that, there's not really much there. That's why later on when they have a falling out, they'll be like, well, I didn't really like her like that. I didn't really know her like that. We weren't that close, even though they were posted up in each other's houses, on these different trips, at Coachella. But they'll gaslight you and tell you, yeah, we weren't even that close, even though they made it seem like they were that close. You have those friendships of utility. The next one would be friendships of pleasure. And this can kind of go with utility as well, if the utility is to get pleasure.
I want to meet somebody and we immediately click and we start, going, well, I don't go out, but I want to do stuff like dance classes, pottery. I really enjoy just running errands, going to TJ Maxx, Marshalls Ross, all of that stuff, going out to eat. That's my type of fun and bonding. I want to jump immediately to that. Not the basic conversations like how your day going, blah, blah, blah. I don't oh my God, I can't stand small talk. Like, why can't I just meet my bestie already and we click and next thing you know we're going to the gym together. I don't go to the gym, but maybe I'll start if I have somebody to go with. But yeah, that initial stage is when you're trying to get to know somebody is just so awkward. And I know you really do have to get to know people to be safe, but it's just like, dang, why can't we just be besties already?
I'm always seeing conversations about how hard it is to find friendships as an adult, but what's always missing from that is that y'all don't actually want friendships. You want somebody to go out with, you want somebody to turn up with, to get cute with, take pictures with, maybe take a trip or two. If you're single, maybe mix and mingle and have a placeholder so you find a man. You don't actually want the connection. Whenever I see a girl's comment section and she's out with her friends, the comments are overwhelmingly no, I just need to find friends to do this with. You want the aesthetic. You don't even want to be mildly inconvenienced. Girls are just so hard to be cool with. They always become haters. My boundaries, my tolerance is so low, but it'll give a man a million chances. Friendships are sometimes inconvenient. Sometimes you need to be vulnerable. Sometimes you need to have tough conversations. It's an actual connection. It's not texting somebody every 6 to 8 months to say, hey girl, let's go out tonight. And it's okay to admit that you don't actually want friendships, but stop phrasing it in that way. You're really looking for an aesthetic minus you're not looking for the connection at all. You're not trying to connect. You're trying to not be in the house bored.
So you have some friendships that are formed over shared enjoyment or common interests. So going out, entertainment, or hobbies, different hobbies that you have. So for instance, if you're into running and you want to run a marathon, maybe you'll join a running group in your local community. That would be considered a friendship of pleasure, because the reason why you guys are friends is because you have that shared interest in running. Anime, if you go to anime conventions and you meet friends friends there, and that is the totality of that friendship, is to talk about anime, to enjoy manga, to dress up in cosplay. If that is what the friendship is and it doesn't really go much deeper than that, then that's going to be a friendship of pleasure. And they are dependent on your taste and the changes that you make in life. Because if I start out and I'm very interested in anime, but then I get older and I start drifting away from that, then guess what? I'm going to drift away from those friends where all we talked about was anime. So even these friendships, they are also fleeting. However, they are a lot better than just friendship of utility. They're a little bit more stable, the best type of friendship. And these are the type of friendships that you have when you've grown up with your friends. And these are friendships of virtue. This is the highest, most enduring form of friendship because it's based on mutual respect for each other's character, shared commitment, and then also you've gotten to see that person at their worst, at their best, and when they're mid. So of course, those type of friendships, they are comprehensive. They are holistic because you're not looking at this person as, what can I get from you? You're not looking at this person as, well, we like this one thing, let's go do that one thing. No, it's like, I love you as a person. You are my friend. I love the different aspects of you, your positives, your negatives, your good, your ugly, the things that I won't tell anyone about you that I personally know because we've been through that. These type of friendships are the strongest. They're the hardest to come by, which is sad. Those type of friends, they wish you well regardless of what's happening. They're not your friend for personal gain. They're not your friend just for pleasure. They're friends with you because they genuinely care about you as a human being. These type of friendships, extremely difficult to have as an adult. If you didn't get that friendship when you were a child, then I'm sorry, you lost the friendship lottery. Friendships become so difficult because of all the different factors that we have in life. Your romantic relationships can completely uproot, dissolve your friendships. You have situations where married women are ditching, okay? They are straight up ditching their single friends. Sometimes I think it's for a good reason. Sometimes your friends do not grow with you. And so you'll be in completely different seasons. And for that reason, your lifestyles just won't match up.
While we're talking about adult friendships, I actually had a friend call me the other day. And she called me and we never really talk on the phone like that anymore. And she's like, oh, you answered so quickly. I'm like, yeah, because you never call. You know, I made a smart comment. And she's like, well, yeah, you never call either. The phone works both ways. And in that moment, I was like, you know what? Yeah, I do not call you. Most of my friends, we may talk here and there, but it's mostly like, let's plan things. And it just made me realize I don't call you and we don't have the friendship we used to because you're at a different point in your life.
If I'm a mother of 5, I got a job, I got a husband, I take care of my house, I'm not linking up with you every Friday, Saturday to go to the club because you're single and ready to mingle. Like, no, you gonna have to catch me at the playground with my kids. You got to catch me at the grocery store while I'm trying to buy food to feed those kids. It makes it very difficult to maintain those friendships as you move through different seasons in life. With the addition of another person like your spouse, that also makes it a little bit more difficult because not only do your friends have to match your values, but they also have to match the values of your husband, of your wife, because the last thing you want is for somebody that has a moral compass of 0. I don't even know if that makes sense. You guys probably understand what I'm trying to say with that. A moral compass of 0. We're gonna make it a thing. That could negatively influence the marriage.
I cut off my best friend because she cheated on her husband, and honestly, I think that's a very valid reason to end a friendship in my opinion. So my friend, let's just call her Bree, and her fiance, let's just call him Sam. So Bree and Sam were together for about 4 years, but it wasn't until like the last year where she was like kind of begging him to propose because she wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. She wanted to just be like a Pilates wife. And obviously Bree wanted to get fit for her wedding day, so she hired a personal trainer. Let's call him Mike. So Bree would be spending a lot of time with her personal trainer, and obviously that's not weird because like you gotta spend hours in the gym to get the body right. But what was excessive was the fact that she would be going on lunch dates, coffee dates, literally with her, Mike, and his coworkers, she would tell me, what is going on? Are you doing something with Mike? She's denying the fact. We get in this huge argument. We don't talk for a long time. I end up reaching out back to her, and a couple weeks have passed. She had told me that they are no longer together. They're no longer going to get married, and guess who the fuck she's with now?
So if you have a friend who's constantly running the streets, getting into trouble, just rowdy whenever they go out, understand your spouse isn't going to want you to spend time with them, because that puts you in danger. And especially as a woman, your husband is there to protect you. And if he's seeing that this person is a whole red flag and they're going to get you caught up, his protection is telling you, you need to ditch that broad. Okay, you need to ditch that broad, get you some new broads to hang out with. Okay, some broads that got stuff to lose, some broads with some common sense. It becomes extremely difficult to maintain relationships because the value system changes even as you're getting into long-term committed relationships. For instance, marriage. Those boundaries between friendship and then marriage, they get very skewed. So you have some friends who think that they are entitled to talk crazy about your spouse. And this is the one that is so irksome to me. You had this one situation where this broad got on these here internets and she wanted us to be on her side so bad. She wanted us to be on her side so bad. And she was telling us about how she was telling her best friend that your man don't do this for you. Your man don't take care of you. Why would he just give you flowers and jewelry for your anniversary? You deserve better. And that married woman said, you damn right, I deserve better. I deserve better friends. That's exactly what I deserve. And she kicked that broad to the curb. So she ran to the internet to complain about it, only for the wife to come back and check her. Okay, put her all the way in check.
First and foremost, the fact that you started your video talking about my friend of 4 years cut me off over a man and didn't actually explain what the dynamic of the relationship was, I'm going to do that for you. You didn't get cut off over a man. You got cut off over my man, my husband, the person that's the most important to me. You, A, don't have a man. B, don't have somebody, have never had anybody that does for you what my husband does for me. You're upset, wholeheartedly upset, more upset than me that I got jewelry, dinner, and flowers, the thing that I requested, the thing that I enjoy, because baby, I'm a mother and a wife and I work full time. I be tired. I don't want to do a whole lot of stuff all the time. And it's not out of the norm, having been married all of these years, for my husband, for our anniversary, to take me to dinner, get me flowers, and get me a gift. That's enough. It's not low effort. It's not bare minimum. Why are you coming on the internet talking about my man's income because you sold the house? Like, be so for real. You're weird.
You're not going to disrespect the man that I've chosen to build my life with, that I've chosen to have children with. You are not going to sit over here and disrespect this man and go to the internet and talk about my man, put my business out there. Like, that is insane to me. And that boundary was definitely crossed. It's one thing if someone is showing genuine concern about DV or crazy stuff like someone cheating. It's one thing to be upset about that. I can understand that concern. However, he didn't take you on a trip for your birthday. So now I'm like, he ain't shit. Girl, get the fuck out of here with that. Mind your business. But see, when it comes to these friendships where they try to blur the line between your boundary, their boundary, and the boundary of their marriage, of course, things like that are gonna come up and they're going to make waves in the friendship, and not in a good way. And what's crazy is that some friends, what they'll feel is they'll feel like they're being replaced. They'll feel like they're being deprioritized. I can kind of understand that as well, because if we went from hanging out all the time to now we don't get to hang out as much, then yeah, you're gonna feel some type of way about it. But that goes back to what I was talking about, friendships of virtue. If your friendship is built on virtue, then you're going to love that person through all their seasons of life. It's not about, well, we don't hang out anymore like that, or this, that, and the third. No, it's like, I understand that you got a new life. I understand that you have a family, that you work all the time. I understand these things, and we're gonna try to make our friendship work around that timeline. And that's what comes with a friendship of virtue. But if it's a friendship of utility or pleasure, once that utility or pleasure is not available, then that friendship is going to dissolve. It just is.
If you get in a relationship and you stop talking to that friend because you are in a relationship relationship, you were never really truly friends with that person. And this is what I'm gonna say. People that care about you make time for you. I don't care how you cut it. Whatever way you want to spin it. Oh, I got a relationship that took up my time. We're grown. They understand. They don't understand. I promise you they don't. They might act like they're okay with the fact that you put them to the side for this romantic relationship. But I think we need to stop normalizing putting platonic relationships to the back burner.
You have some adult friendships where all they really want from their friend is for them to kiss their tail. I've personally gone through this as a grown adult. I had a friend, she asked my opinion on a logo for her business. I told her the truth and then she blocked me. She blocked me because I didn't have anything nice to say, even though what I said wasn't even me. There are some people out there that want you to be their friend in order to just hype them up. They don't want to hear any of your opinions. They don't want you to criticize anything that they do. They just want you to be accepting of every single thing and keep your personal opinions to yourself, even if they are talking to you about these topics, even if they are asking you for your opinion. If it's not, yes, queen, then they're gonna be mad, they're gonna be pissed.
I told a homegirl one time that I wanted a tummy tuck and a breast lift, and she responded, "Why would you want that? The scars will be horrible. Have you seen the scars on Black women? And do you have time for the recovery time?" And blase squaze. Very, very negative response. When I heard her response, I immediately said, "I'm going to get the surgery." And then I stopped talking to her about said surgery. At that moment, I decided I did not want to talk to her anymore about what I want to do. I grew up with a woman who conditioned me to think that women are competition, to be judgmental of women's decisions, to think that women are jealous of me. So when I heard her response, I instantly knew this is not a girl's girl. She wants to be, but she is not, because of the conditioning that she is still perpetuating. And I know that if I told her that I wanted to do something for my body that would make me happy, and her response was about her and her feelings, I was not going to get the support in that relationship that I needed to take into my next season.
Sometimes you have a secret hater among the mix. The person that's gonna talk crazy about you when you get in front of a group of people where they wanna shine brighter than you. So they'll give you backhanded compliments, or they'll give you this low energy support for the things that you do. They'll minimize your wins, but they'll be so excited to hear about your losses. They'll tell jokes that don't even really feel like jokes.
One thing I really have a problem with is an undercover hater. Babe, if you do not like me, do not hang around me. Do not get close to me. You do not need to be friends. And I know undercover haters. The moment I feel like you're an undercover hater, like you've been my friend, but you're really not my friend, I cut you off quicker than quick. Arts and crafts over here, okay? It's just weird. Never forget, I had this situation with a friend where she tried to make me look bad in front of another guy so she could look better because she liked the guy, I think. But I wasn't really interested in him like that. And when she was trying to bring me down, she actually didn't, because I accepted my truth. I was like, yeah, that's who I am and that's what I did. But it wasn't up to her to spill my beans. Like, girl, why are you telling my secrets to some man? Because you're insecure. And you're mad at me because I think he likes me and not you? Okay, so now you want to make me look crazy in front of this man. It says more about you, though. Don't ever lower your friend to make yourself look better. That is called a hater.
Look, me and Justin, we do this. We kind of neg each other, talk crazy to each other, but it's always from a place of love. There is something completely different between you saying something that's funny, that's kind of poking fun. It's a whole other thing when you're saying things to try to belittle them and make them feel like less of a person. I don't know if I have the words to fully describe the difference, but if you've been through both of these situations, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Someone could tell you a joke about this disformity that you have on your face, and someone else could tell a joke about the disformity on your face, and they hit completely different because of the energy behind the joke. Because of that level of competition, when you get to friendships of utility or even friendships of pleasure, that can turn into competition disguised as concern. And it's like, how do I discern between my friend is telling me this because they genuinely care and they don't want me to make a mistake, versus my friend is saying this to me because they don't want me to level up, they don't want me to do better? Not every everyone clapping for you, is happy for you, recognizing that part, it really sucks. It really sucks. And that can jade you from wanting to even try to build friendships in the long term. One of the things that really highlights whether or not your friendship is a friendship of utility or a friendship of pleasure is by saying no. The moment you tell someone no, they're gonna show you exactly who they are and exactly how they feel about you. If when you say no to them, they start treating you different, and not different in a way where it's maintaining or respecting your boundaries, but different in a way where it's like, now you're treating me like somebody you don't even like, you don't even care for because I told you no, that's going to reveal that that friendship wasn't really a friendship. It was, like I said, utility or pleasure. And once that utility or pleasure was gone, poof. So are they. Those friendships are built on availability, not mutual respect, not genuine interest in you as a person. Maintaining friendships as an adult, it requires so much intentional effort. You have to schedule time. You have to prioritize honest communication. You have to have emotional maturity, forgiveness, reciprocity. It just can't be a vibe forever. Real adult friendships, they require work, and not all of us have the time, the energy, or even the money to put in that effort to keep those adult friendships alive. It sucks. It really does suck. If you have an adult friendship that is based on virtue and your lives just kind of drift apart in a way where you can't really spend all the time together, you can't talk on the phone all the time, you can't go places all the time, those friendships are only going to thrive if there is mutual respect, if there is alignment on the goal, which is to spend time eventually, whenever that can get on the schedule and stay on the schedule, mutual growth, and then also that emotional safety with that person. Knowing that they're not going to go ahead and spill your tea for some clout on the internet. That part is just so irritating. You know, you could want to be friends with somebody, but that fear, especially if they're an influencer that shares a lot of story times, there could be that fear that they might get on that story time and tell your business, clock your tea for millions to see and judge you. And you know how the internet is. They will find out whoever the hell you're talking about. They will find you. They will find your man. They will find your kids. They will find your granny, grandpa, your aunties, your uncles, your cousin you ain't never seen. Like, they will find everybody. These internet detectives are crazy. So that just really adds to the overall problem with trying to cultivate adult friendships. Man, it is tough out here in these friendship streets. But I am curious to hear you guys' thoughts down below. How do you feel about this video? Do you agree with me where it's like, yeah, adult friendships are extremely difficult to have, to maintain, to cultivate, to do all the things? Or do you disagree with me where it's like, nah, Sandra, you're just a lame and nobody likes you? I am curious to hear you guys' thoughts down below. If you like the video, like the video. The more you interact with it, the more it gets pushed down to the algorithm. Also, hype the video if that function is available. If you're feeling a little extra generous, the link is in the description to buy your girl a coffee. Thank you guys so much, and I will see y'all with the next one. Deuces.